Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's video. We are talking about my morning mindset routine, and I've been using this routine for a long time. I used it to consistently manifest different things. I go through phases where it's more effective and phases where it's less effective. I'm going to be talking about that today and why. And this is something that I used to only teach in paid coaching programs, which were not cheap. And now today I'm just doing it for free, for fun, because I love you. So, if you want to know my morning mindset routine, this has also resulted in a lot of income earned for clients since 2019. I'm going to show you in this video for free, so just keep watching. So, as many of you know, I really believe in a holistic approach to manifesting. So, mindset is like the groundwork for all successful manifesting. And it also gives you a place from which to work on nervous system regulation. So, when I talk about a holistic approach to money mindset and manifesting, that's what's inside my book, Embodied Abundance, which you can find on Amazon. I'm talking about mindset, the nervous system, and energetics. And mindset is the first pillar to me because even though nervous system regulation is really important, even though learning energetics is really important, if you don't kind of start up here with your thoughts in the foundation, it's really hard to you have to like give yourself something to work through. So if I just come to you and say like I want you to work on nervous system regulation, like we can do that, but it's a lot easier to work on nervous system regulation if we're dealing with a stressor, if we're talking about work and a constriction comes up. So mindset is really important for manifesting because your self belief is usually the first main blocker to any of the goals that you have. I have some mic issues last week. Hopefully, those are resolved today. I see people hopping on live, so just give me feedback. Hopefully, it's okay. If it's not, I'm going to keep going anyway. So, because I don't know what else to do. So, mindset is like the first blocker that you would have in manifesting. And a lot of manifesting is just increasing your belief that the thing can happen and then staying with that belief long enough for it to happen. So, one of the biggest mistakes that people make with manifesting in general is that manifesting happens with a delay. And if we don't manifest what we want right away, we can feel disappointed. And then we're not in the energy of the thing that we want anymore. So you've got to stay with the vision long enough for it to actually happen. And that's part of what this morning mindset routine accomplishes, even though the morning mindset routine is kind of a daily manifesting routine. So I'm going to pull up a document here. I don't know if I'm going to share my screen or not. It depends on how helpful I think it would be. But there are several components of this morning mindset routine that I've been giving to coaching clients for a long time. And I'm going to go through all of those with you today. So, the first component of a successful morning mindset routine that will help you to manifest is creating a vision map. So, this is like the longer plan, the longer term vision of like where you're heading, where you're going, what do you want to accomplish, what you want to do, what you want to see happen in your life. Think big. This is not, I want to lose 5 pounds. This is like, I want the dream body of my life and I want to have it forever. I do think it's important to you don't have to visualize like the ultimate goal when you're manifesting. So you don't have to think of like the 50-year goal or the 20-year goal. I like to think in terms of like 3 to 5 year goals. So it's a stretch or it feels kind of big, feels not totally possible, but I can get my belief behind it. So for me, like I've had a bunch 10K months, bunch 20K months, 30K months, 40K months. I think I've only had one or two over 50K months, but I can get my belief behind consistent 50K months in my business. That's something I can get my belief behind that I feel like I'm going to have to work up to getting that consistently. There's other things that are on my vision map, but your vision map is like you're describing what you want your life to be like. And I'm sure that I have an example. I have saved this in multiple places, so Okay, so I think I just rewrote mine. So this is my current vision map that I just rewrote. Allison Raves is a successful coach and marketer. She specializes in helping people discover aligned, trauma informed ways of growing their business and helping heal their money mindset so they can finally manifest and truly enjoy living again. Her income is abundant and magical, and it comes from a variety of courses every single day. I think that's supposed to be sources because I do have multiple courses, but I also have other things I'm making money with. She loves the adventure of traveling to speak at summits and retreats and also enjoys most of her days quietly at home with lots of free space and time. One thing I would add to this, I feel like this is not specific enough. Like I should probably update this more, but I want to be like discovered for my teaching. Like I'm obviously a good marketer and I'm happy to market myself and prospect and pitch myself, but I would love to just like go from 0 to 100 with my visibility and speaking and people wanting me to facilitate at retreats and groups. I see that for myself. That's one thing I want kind of dreaming of to happen faster. Um, Another thing that's in my vision map here, Allison and her husband Chris live in a spacious, peaceful, and beautifully designed house near the water. They have more money than they need or know what to do with. They've built up enough wealth that they never have to worry about money again, but they feel no urgency to retire because of how much they love and enjoy their work. They have a rich life filled with music, friends, and art. Um, and so that's the first part of your vision map. You're just like describing something that's not easily graspable in your immediate future. Although I do feel like some of the things on my vision map are not far enough away, or like I think I need to dream a little bit bigger and be a little bit more specific in my vision map. I wrote this before I had some of the epiphanies I've had recently. So, one mistake that I was making with this routine, with manifesting in general, was I had gotten a little bit afraid to dream bigger. And a lot of you know my story, where I've made a lot of money and had a lot of success. I really want this to be symmetrical. um, and even though I made more and more money, I still never felt safer with money. I never also let myself receive that money. And so there was an energetic component of that where I never celebrated, I was never grateful. And there was also a practical component of that where I never paid myself enough or gave myself a raise. I was paying other people more and more over time instead of paying myself. And so recently, the story that I shared in my email promoting this training, recently I have had a lot of my income from one source. And there's a lot of things about that source that have been really great. There's a lot of things that have like bothered me about it. And it's been so consistent and so abundant. And I'm so grateful that I've put up with a lot of things that are not ideal just because I'm so grateful for it. And I think that that's okay. I think my attitude could have been better about it at times, but I think it's okay to do things that are not like perfectly aligned forever if they're meeting a goal now that is very aligned. And I see that with people who started entrepreneurship, they're not making money as fast as they want, and they end up getting a full-time job. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Okay, I'm just making sure that we're live. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Um, and what I realized recently was I was in fear around losing some of the stability that I built up with my abundance. So I've had a lot of abundance in the past where it was I could never do income projections. I didn't know if I was going to get 5 new clients the next month or one. A bunch of people are finishing contracts. I didn't know if I'd be able to find new clients to replace them. And even though I love coaching, it's probably still one of my favorite things that I do. And it's a better hourly rate than the fractional CMO work that I do. Um, it's I have low retention. I don't keep people for longer than I would say 6 months on average because I teach them how to do the thing that they want to do and then they're done. Whereas with the fractional CMO work, my average, I have actually only had one client cancel with me since I've started doing this. So all of that to say, I've had abundance, consistency, very grateful, and I realized that I have was not dreaming anymore. I realized that I was really focused so much on the consistency and the stability and building up my savings account that I wasn't thinking about the bigger goals that felt slightly unrealistic. And I kind of felt okay with that. I was like, I just love how calm and grounded I feel. But when I talked to a friend of mine who I hadn't talked to in a while, she said, I feel like some of your spark is a little dull right now. And that kind of broke my heart because I was like, I felt like I was in a really good place, but I realized that she was right, that I was settling. And I'm also so grateful for how far I've come and all that stability and that I built up for myself. And I think it's really important to dream big, to push for bigger goals. Because I do think when you, even if you don't make that mark, you certainly get a lot further than if the way I've been kind of manifesting, or I have not really been manifesting that much until recently. I've just kind of been like, if I'm safe, then I'm good. And I think that's fine for some people, but that's not, I don't think, what I was put on the planet for. So, all that to say, I got clear that I was not dreaming big enough. And I started thinking, what do I really want? And I also realized that some of the service work I've been doing was blocking me from being able to expand. So I realized that I needed a replacement or an addition so that my energy was spread out a little bit more. And I also just needed to focus intentionally on my business. And as soon as I got clear on that, then I talked to someone who helped me get even more clarity, my spiritual coach. Her name is Amy Hagman. You can find her at amyhagman.love. She's also one of the best psychics I've ever talked to. But I had a call with Amy and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I need to change a relationship with one of my clients. What would help me to feel really safe around this? And we got super specific. We're like, you need to, if you find another client that's maybe not as big as that contract, the other one that I have, but if you find another client and she gave me a range of multiple four figures per month that is that size, then you'll feel safe. And you won't feel as much pressure around that client. You feel more flexibility in how that relationship might change, etc. So, and then that felt good in my body. I felt that alignment in my body of that change. And then as soon as I decided that, I had another call the next day. That was a business coaching call. So spiritual coaching call for clarity. Then the next day I had a business coaching call that was 30 minutes on just like, what are the aligned actions I can take that are going to get me closer to the goal? So the two goals I have are, I want to speak more. I want to fill the Radiant Night series that I started, this dinner series in Houston. And I wanted a new multiple four-figure monthly client. During that call, I got a text message from a good friend, former colleague of mine, and his business has grown rapidly from zero to $1 million a month. And he needs a fractional CMO. And I was like, wow, the timing couldn't have been more perfect. Sometimes when we manifest things, it takes time, and that's normal. Like most of the things I manifest, I feel like take time, maybe just because I expect them to. But it's so nice when things happen immediately. And, maybe this happened quickly because this relationship was an old one where I'd already done some groundwork. I'd done some part-time work for him before. I coached him before. He's coached me before. We were managers with each other at the same company for 3 years. So we have a long-term relationship. And I guess when you're manifesting and you're already like in the right timeline, you can manifest a lot faster. Okay. So all of that to say, I just read you my vision map and I'm telling you that I want you to do a vision map. That's the first of the 5 steps if you're taking notes. And I want you to dream big. I feel like if you want to manifest more, you've got to dream a little bigger. I want to share my screen because the next page I have is identity. And the identity I have done in a visual way. So you'll see this here. Can I make it bigger? That's a little bigger, kind of. It's like now off center. Okay. So this is a great place. So identity is like who you want to be, who you're aiming for. So this is the template that I give my coaching clients. And if you comment template down below, I will make sure that you guys get this. But The identity, this section is used is a visual representation of who you want to be and what you want in your life. So this could be a physical vision board. This could be something you do on a Canva, like I did here. If you're not a visual person, you can write out bullets, but just describe what you want life to look like. So this is like the core of my identity is me in a flowy dress in a field. I don't know why. That's my higher self. She's wearing a dress. She's in a field. It is what it is. I also love nature and water. I want to travel and see beautiful things and amazing things I've never seen before. I want a house like this. I want a bigger house with a pool, tropical vibes, obviously private jet going somewhere. I don't know where. Radiant nights, dinner with friends, traveling with my husband on a boat, and more cuddles. I actually have a very good amount of cuddles, but there's no harm in having more. So, visual representation of what you want, but start with your vision map, describing what your successful, dreamy life is. Then make it visual. Okay, the next section is habit foundations. And in this section, these you can copy mine, but these are almost like my rules in life. Um, you can get more specific here. So some of the things I might even add to this are like wake up times and go to bed times. So I'll even like, let's see where I want to put this. I'm just going to talk through. I'm not going to make any edits right now. But other things I could put in here are wake up times, go to bed times, um, working out. But some of the habit foundations and rules that I have in here as examples are I release the how, I trust implicitly that money loves me, business gets to feel easier and easier. I don't have to do more to have more. Although I'm in a place in my business right now where I'm doing a lot, but I like the CMO work. I don't know. That's the whole thing. I lean into the highest version of myself. I am a guardian of my time and my programs. I'm not desperate for money. I don't just let anybody in my space. Everything is an opportunity for me to rise. Everything is happening for my good. I take advantage of every situation. Detach from the results. The current results don't matter because they're lag indicators. I focus on the lead indicators and I know the results are going to handle themselves. So I take the aligned action. I know it's going to come. So I won't keep reading all of these, but those are habit foundations. These are rules for your life. So we have covered your vision map, your identity, which is a visual representation of what you want life to look like and feel like, your habits, and then two more sections. One is success tracking, and the last section is affirmations. Success tracking, I need to go back and find my old routine because I do not know where it is. But success tracking is literally every success you've had, every win, every testimonial from a client, every remote success, like tiny. This doesn't have to be, I had my first $50,000 month. This can be, I found a penny on the ground. This can be like the spirit signs that you see. Like I've been seeing cardinals every day for the last 2 weeks. But this can also be, I got my first click on my sales page. I got a new follower, one follower on Instagram. I did get like 6 new followers this week on Instagram because I went to a local networking event that was really good. So success tracking, you want this list to be huge. Part of what success tracking does, so I've called it several things. Success tracking, it could be wins, it could be testimonials, you can include all those things. I've also called success tracking evidence because to me, what's another thing that's really important in manifesting is evidence that the manifestation is coming. That's will help you stay in the energy of it before it's here. So for example, I was able to manifest this big client overnight, but if I hadn't, I could track evidence that I knew that it was coming. I could say, "Oh, I had a conversation where somebody might be interested in this." Or a piece of evidence could be I reached out to someone who I thought might be interested. Whatever, however big or small it is. And then of course, affirmations. Your affirmations list can start short and then get bigger over time. Anytime you have a limiting belief or a stressor is a good time to think about what would be another affirmation for that. And affirmations help rewire your brain as far as your self-belief. And again, that self-belief and staying with it long enough helps your manifestations to happen. There is another section of this, which has always been hard to explain, but it's called the theater of the mind. I'm gonna take it out. I think I did take it out in the recent. Yeah, because I feel like it's too much like the vision map, so I'm not gonna explain it, because it's just the same thing. It's basically like walking through a day in your ideal life, which we kind of already do in the vision map. So that is the morning mindset routine that I've been using since 2019. If you go on my results page on my website, tons of those results, like all those people hired me for business coaching, and 70% of them, their testimonials mention mindset work. And this routine was a foundation for those wins. So that is all I have for you. Again, if you comment, what did I say? Routine. I will send you a link to this template. And that's all I have. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later on the internet. Okay, bye.